So I wanted to do this little teaching and tell you that originally in our scriptures it said stauros, S-T-A-U-R-O-S, not cross. Cursed is a man who hangs on a cross, and he came to take the curse away. You can Google that scripture. And stauros means upright stake. Cross goes back to etz, the trunk of a man's body, his arms, his legs. Crosses were used as for sungod worship and phallus penis worship by the ancient Egyptians and the Africans and the Asians. It is a pagan symbol. When I was traveling in Huntsville, Oneida, they had a big cross next to an adult bookstore where they had dancers and all kinds of pornographic stuff going on. And it's no wonder they put a cross, a big cross next to it that symbolizes their pagan phallus worship. If you remember, Moses put a cross in the wilderness with the snake on it because of the sin that they had done. They had to look upon the sin, and overcome. Etz, the trunk of a man's body, his arms, his legs, Satan in the Garden of Eden. That was symbolic of Satan. Fruit means to know a woman, to have sex with her. It wasn't actually a piece of fruit that they ate. Why did they cover their self with fig leaves? The word says, when the Most High said, "Who told you you were naked?" We covered ourselves with fig leaves, for we knew you were coming, and we knew we were naked. Who told you you were naked? He said. See, they didn't know that beforehand, before having sex with the devil. They were innocent like children. They didn't know about sex. The orgasmic energy. The Bible talks about putting off the seed in the streets with other, the immaculate conception, the way marriage was and a child was conceived in the Aramaic Hebrew way, the Most High's way. What Satan taught them is turned them on to pleasure, orgasm, which brought suffering. Women didn't. See, if you study the devil, which means the double, it says that Eve was deceived, but that Adam wasn't. When the devil came to her, he looked like her husband, except he was pale. And he charmed and deceived her. She thought he was just sick, pale, like the pale horse Revelation 6 talks about. And she was impregnated with the son of Cain, who slew Abel, who did his father's will. You are of your father the devil, the first liar and murderer. If you had done well, he knew that it wasn't his fault that his father was the devil. He still had the seed of the woman, Hawa, in him. So the Most High gave him the benefit of the doubt, hoping he would overcome the will of his father, the seed of his father that was in him from what she had done. When she went to her husband and he took of the fruit also, that means, and he was not deceived, it was because, see, Satan came to the woman first as the counterfeit, the double, the other, significant other, it counterfeit, and then went to her husband and did the same thing, and he knew it wasn't his wife. He wasn't deceived, the word says. And why is that? Did they actually have like a threesome, or did Adam commit homosexuality, or did he fulfill all these men's fantasies of two women and a man? What actually happened? Why is it that it was changed from cross or from stauros to cross. If you look at the crucifixion symbols and the way the Roman Catholics, it shows a stake going up the rectal, up the spine. Vlad Dracula was a real man. He impaled his victims on upright stakes and publicly drank their blood. Anyone who stood against the Christian faith, the faith that the Roman Catholics started. Dracula, in the 1400s, in history, you will discover he was a real man. Dracula, the Draco, the dragon, Satan, and the Vatican, the Roman Empire, the Roman Catholics served him. And, you know, if you study in medieval times, they impaled victims on stakes, they cut off their heads, they put them on these wheels, they put them in iron maidens. During the Inquisition, all the people that were killed, millions, 50 million people that were killed that were true believers by Satan and his elite. You know, we have the Illuminati, the Druids, the Jesuits, you know, the Draconians. We have the Roman Empire, the Vatican, the Roman Catholics. They're only, like they say, 1% of the population. The Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, that goes back to what happened in 1913 in Jekyll Island, too. So, historically, if you study, you'll find out that our Messiah, HaMashiach, who died for the sins of the world and rose from the dead 2,000 years ago, whose name really was Hawa because it was changed, was actually done dirtier than what we've been shown in the movies, like in the Passion of Christ, as they say, where he's been put on a cross. No, to impale, you know, it was probably stuck up his rectum. He died for the sin of the homosexual act that was committed in the Garden of Eden, and impaled down on a upright stake, and had to die for the sexual sin that was committed by Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. And our, you know, virgin HaMashiach was really treated very brutally and cruelly. And I believe that was what was done to him, or the wheel thing where they, you know, roll, but there's crushing of the bones there in that, and none of his bones were crushed, it says, but he was pierced in the side. So did they, you know, put it through? But like I said, it was originally stauros, which is an upright stake, and cursed is a man who hangs on a cross, and he came to take the curse away. So I believe that he was done like this, you know, and his arms put straight up above his head and his legs below him, and he was upright, and that it was impaled into him. He was impaled. It's terrible. I just thought I would share that historical proof and truth, and you can Google it, research it yourself, and find out what I'm telling you is the truth. Thank you.